Good evening, everybody. This is Morbid, and you're listening to the Pulpit of Doom podcast, the official podcast of DreaminDemon.com. And tonight I have with me Jaded and Pagan.
Hi.
Good evening.
Hello, ladies and Jaded. You guys doing all right tonight, I guess?
Yeah, feeling good.
I am not feeling that good right now. I was just telling Pagan before we went on, I'm feeling a little sick. Well, I feel like something's coming on, and so we'll see how that goes. But I feel like I'm getting the start of a sore throat. So gay.
Hopefully it's just a allergy.
I don't know. We'll see. That's what this whiskey here is for. See if it can do the trick.
Whatever you need to justify your drinking problem, you just go straight ahead.
Yeah. Just hell with the hot toddy and just go ahead and drink it straight out the bottle, huh?
I'm telling you, man, this all smoky salted caramel whiskey is really good. If you're ever in your local liquor store, you should pick some up.
Yeah.
Do you get a percentage of every bottle they sell?
Shit, I wish.
Yeah, he really promotes that. You know?
I'll move on. I'll move on to something else later. But right now, This is my jam. This is my stuff.
I have you know, Jay, when I was visiting with Morbid not long ago, he almost force-fed me the whiskey. He kept saying, "You gotta try it. You gotta try it. You gotta try it. You gotta try it."
That's what I did with him back in the day. It was like, "Hey man, this stuff's called heroin. You gotta try it. You gotta try it. You gotta try it. Hey, snort this. You gotta try it."
Did you try it, Pagan?
Like,
Is it everything?
No.
Is it everything Morbid said it would be?
It was actually.
See, I'm telling you, I'm not bullshitting. It's really good. And they're always sold out of it. But anyway, thanks to anybody who's actually listening. This was another short notice podcast because we got our schedules together. But we've been doing some talking offline, of course, regarding where we're going to go with this. And I think we pretty much got the gist of it. We haven't had any real technical problems here lately. It's just been pretty easy. So I think we'll start kind of more actively promoting it a bit better and maybe working on some, I don't know, we should work on some segments or something at some point. But for anybody who's just now turning in and doesn't know who the hell we are, as we said before, this is Morbid, Jaded and Pagan with me tonight. And this is the official podcast of DreaminDemon.com, one of the longest running crime sites out right now. I guess aside from Web Sleuths, I guess they're the only other guys out there with us. I don't know. But we're not, I know that we are no longer, I know we've been doing podcasts now for almost, how long, a decade?
At least.
But I know we are no longer, that's no longer the case. I hear some really good crime-related podcasts that are out there, and one of them, I've heard of one called Sword and Scale. A couple of other ones. They do things a little bit different, where if that's what you're looking for, that's not what we are. So we don't take any of this too seriously. We pretty much will talk about the top stories we reported on for the week. And that's about it. We don't go in depth or anything like that. We're not analyzing anything. But you know who I did find also does a crime podcast, who I've not listened to yet, but I might check it out because surprisingly, I don't listen to crime podcasts. I really don't care enough.
I don't even listen to this one.
That's true too. I never listen back to it. But it's the chick that is somebody else got the podcast playing at the same time that I'm talking?
No.
That's weird. I'm hearing myself back in my fucking headphones again. It's the chick that plays, who's the voice of Bart. What's her name? Yeardley Smith?
Something like that?
Yeah, she has her own podcast.
A crime podcast?
A fucking crime podcast. Look it up. I don't know the name of it, but I know she has one. I did a search a while back, and I can't remember why. I think somebody on Reddit was asking what some good crime podcasts were. Of course, we weren't on that list at all, but they listed some of them. And that was one of them, was hers.
My kids listen to that Sword and Scale Trade us, god damn it, little traitors.
Well, it's completely different. We're just basically three idiots talking about idiots. They actually try to do work, and they do. But from what I heard, they go into detail, and they'll take one case, and that's what they'll talk about until they're done talking about that case. Where
Well, Yeardley Smith. Oh, sorry.
oh no, go ahead.
Yeardley Smith actually has a really cool name for her podcast, which is Small Town Dicks.
That's it, Small Town Dicks. I couldn't remember. Yeah, it's an awesome name.
That's pretty good.
But I don't know what her premise is. I haven't looked at it yet. So, but not that we'll ever do anything like that. It takes me long enough just to get the articles posted. I mean, if I took all the time it took just to put the articles just to focus on a podcast, we could do something like that. But again, I wouldn't really have, my heart wouldn't be in it because I don't care about any of that stuff enough to do it.
And it wouldn't be fun.
Nah, I just like writing the stuff up and then talking about it later.
And then forgetting about it.
Sorry, I'm hitting the vape tonight. I got me
never would have guessed.
And I got my new flavor, vanilla custard.
If you say lemon, I'm going to punch you.
Get that? I said vanilla custard, but it's actually lemon custard.
I'm going to fucking punch you.
It's not bad.
Whatever. Drink. I want to always say drink. I don't know fucking why. Just smoke a manly one, would you?
I don't like them. I don't like them.
Smoking.
Nah.
Try it.
Yeah, try the cigarette.
I did for way too long, and I am done with it. So, this week we actually had a new writer join us on the front page. Thank God, since Jaded can't seem to be bothered any longer. Pagan has joined us and has put up a couple articles this week, and I really, really appreciate it, and I do encourage you to keep doing so. And
welcome.
Speaking of, actually the number 10 story was one we just posted about 30 minutes ago. Was the one out of Los Angeles, and I'm going to let you explain what happened, what this story was about this dude. And you know what? And I'm not a real good judge on the way dudes look, but I'm assuming this guy's not a monster in regards to looks. I'll have to give that one to Jaded. Is he? I didn't.
He looks kind of like a creeper. Like he would really totally mash his nuts into your butt while you're
No,
that's exactly what it is.
Right, but I guess what I'm getting at is, I meant looks-wise, not like model. I meant he doesn't look like somebody that possibly couldn't get some type of a chick, right? I mean, we've seen some. I mean,
I don't know, dude. With that fucking haircut, I'm saying, that's douchey.
Yeah, that you know what kind of haircut that is?
Douche master?
Trump supporter.
No, we're not going to go there.
It's a Trump supporter haircut. It's alt-right. It's a bona fide Nazi. Anyway,
he doesn't look like an attractive fella.
I'm just thinking, Floby.
The fuck is a Floby?
Floby, what they used to sell a long time ago. You hook this attachment to a vacuum and you cut your own hair.
I forgot about him.
Floby.
All right. Okay. Well, this guy, I'll let you go ahead and take this one away, Pagan. He's a 22-year-old who has a problem with his hormones.
Yeah. His name is Alon Lerner. But, we all know him as. You
sounded like you just had a stroke right during the podcast.
Well, I could not pronounce the first name alone. But anyway, we all know him as the Preppy Masher. And that was his nickname given by the authorities before they found out exactly who he was.
And why was he called the Preppy Masher?
Well, obviously because of his preppy attire and... Go ahead.
No. You was getting to the second part.
Yeah, so he had that preppy attire, and he liked to mash his genitals into chicks' buttocks. As they were shopping.
You know what? Hold on a second. I gotta tell you this stupid ass story that you just reminded me of when you said buttocks. When I was dating this chick, and you know her, but when I was dating this chick, we used to go to church together. It was like the only place I could see her was at church because that's where her parents sent her. And so I would go and hang out with her at church. And we actually they had like what they call a youth Sunday where the youth of the congregation would hold the service. So, of course, the adults actually orchestrated everything, but the youth just went up there and did the said things or whatever. But me and my girlfriend at the time had to go up there and read this stupid story out of the Bible. I don't remember which one it was, but I do remember that part of it was a man was giving away some things to somebody else, and those things included animals. And it would be like, and I'm totally going to rape this fucking passage, but it had something about, and you shall giveth him 2 oxen, 3 bullocks, 4 something. And when they gave us the piece of paper to read, I was reading it with her, and I saw bullocks there, and I had a pen or a pencil on me, and I put a line through it, and I looked at her and said, "Look, buttocks." It's just typical Beavis bullshit. I just put it through and said buttocks, and she laughed. Just a stupid. So we get up there to read this fucking thing in front of all them fucking people. And she's reading it, and she gets to that part, and I guess because she's so nervous or whatever, she actually reads about giving this guy 13 buttocks or something to this crowd of people. And it wasn't that it was that funny. It was just, to me, personally, it was fucking hilarious. That just the visual and the fact that she read it. And I fucking had one of those cringy moments where I could not fucking stop laughing at a podium full of all these adults. I just looked like a total jackass. But at church of all places. But anyway, every time I hear the word buttocks, it always reminds me of sitting up there. Have you ever had that where you were laughing somewhere that you absolutely were not supposed to, and you look like a jackass, but you can't quit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
everywhere I go.
Yeah, everywhere.
We're not talking about funerals, Jaded. This was something completely different. Anyway, so he's rubbing his dick into chicks shopping. He's rubbing up against their ass while they're shopping.
He's rubbing them with his dick.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he.
We're assuming he was clothed, though. He wasn't whipping it out.
Yeah. He was fully clothed, but he was getting off, I guess, a little bit off of a little dry rub there. And
hey, it works.
It worked, but guess what?
They got to be consenting.
And they weren't, and evidently they were pissed off about it, and rightfully so. And of course, they complained about it. Well, guess what?
What?
They turned it over to the authorities, all this information.
Right.
And then guess what?
What?
They put his video picture on the news.
Yeah, and it wasn't any hazy surveillance footage either. It was almost like he was posing in front of a camera surveillance footage.
Yeah.
It was pretty clear. They said that they were getting, when they put it on the news, they were getting calls immediately. People saying, "Oh, that's that fucking Lerner idiot."
Yeah, with the stupid haircut.
With the stupid he voted for Trump.
Yeah. No, I think he voted for Bernie.
Hey, that doesn't look like a Bernie haircut. That's a tiki torch haircut.
Let me blow this up a little bit. Oh boy.
See what I'm saying?
What is that? Is it like a mohawk?
No, hush your mouth.
I see people wearing that style where they'll shave the side, but usually they'll have a beard.
It looks like a dead rat.
That it does.
But anyway.
But the bail is pretty high for this. I've written stories like this where the bail was not nearly that much.
He got a felony charge. That's why. What he did constituted felony sexual battery. So I guess that's where the bell range is for that, because he basically got charged no different had he walked up and made a chick grab his exposed junk.
Well, because we had a member who, I don't know, did he spleef on people or just expose himself?
He was just exposing himself. He wasn't actually touching
But
them.
oh, okay.
See what I'm saying?
All
There's
right.
that big,
I
when
got
you make that physical contact, genital to whatever, I think you just up the ante there when it comes to the charges they can charge you with. But yeah, we had a member that got popped for exposing himself, and then we had another member got just recently. Remember that? We've had two members that have been arrested for exposing themselves. One was in a Target, I think, or a Walmart, and the other one was doing it in hotel lobbies. What's up with our members?
I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whatever happened to the classic trench coat guy?
What happened when that used to be funny?
Yeah, like the trench coat guy. He'd have a trench coat, he'd throw it open real quick, then he'd disappear.
Well, hey, think about this. Think about back in the day when you watched Gremlins, and the Gremlins were all doing their stupid shit, and that one gremlin behind the bar opens up his trench coat to Phoebe Cates and starts gyrating around, and that's everybody laughs, and it was funny because it's a flasher gremlin with no genitals.
Well, it was so overdone that now when you see a trench coat, that's what you expect. Right?
Only if it's brown. If it's black, they're going to shoot up the school.
Well, yeah, that's totally different. But if it's a tan detective type trench coat, yeah, you're going to get flashed.
Yeah, so
you couldn't get away with that in movies today, though. I bet, like that as a comedic effect of having somebody flash somebody, it'd be ha funny. I think there'd be outrage.
Even in context, I mean.
Yeah, you're helping. What do you call it? You see what I'm saying? You're. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm at a loss for fucking the words.
That's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day.
Yeah, I don't feel like it right now, and I haven't got enough whiskey in me to start on it.
Yeah.
The next story we had was also one written by Pagan. I hear myself echoing in my headphones, and it is aggravating.
Well, maybe you just have some kind of a fucking mental problem.
Very well could be. This one is, oh, that's awesome.
What's that?
Nothing. I just noticed I had done something totally retarded. Anyway, I figured it out. This was also another one written by you out of New Jersey. The 42-year-old woman who wanted to go, I guess, to go spend some money that she didn't have, but that her mother and grandmother did.
Yeah. She was definitely looking for a good time at grandma and mom's expense. So
tell it, Pagan.
Yeah, spit it out, man. Spit that fire.
Basically, she took a nightstick and beat the fuck out of them.
And
to death.
Oh, there you go. That is the fuck, right? Death.
So, and they were old. Well,
yeah,
older.
So they lived together in a condo, and she was actually living with them. And she had a failed marriage and was hanging out with them. And they were being kind enough to let her reside there with her. But evidently she wanted to go out and have a good time. She didn't have the funds. Who knows what was said or done before that. Maybe she asked for a little bit of fundage, and they denied her and told her, go get a fucking job. And she said, fuck you. I got this nightstick, and I'm going to stick it in your fucking eyeball and beat the fuck out of you. I don't know. But evidently, she went berserk and killed him, and then went on a spending spree to Atlantic City, and then worked her way up the highway there to Manhattan.
Oh, Lord.
Yep, and that's where she rented a room at this luxury hotel. They said it was about $300 a night, and so she hung out there for an evening, and then went on spending the next day, and then went to just walked down toward Times Square and kept spending. And because she kept spending and using a credit card, she basically left the trail. And that's how they found her.
Never leave a trail.
Yeah,
ever.
she left a popcorn trail, and they busted her while she was sitting on some steps.
Yeah, I don't think she cared too much, right?
Didn't seem like it.
She's not bad looking either.
But what does that have to do with killing your mother and your grandma with a nightstick?
It doesn't. It's just saying that it just seems to be good-looking people just don't do things like this.
Yeah, and you know what? I guarantee you she's going to have some fans out there that's going to be writing her letter.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Will you marry me?
All do.
I mean, you know.
Let's
She's
see.
not bad looking. I mean,
Teach them to smile.
We're going to check out the video as soon as this commercial ends. I don't know why they're whatever. At the beginning of every single. Oh, it's only a 48. It's a 48-second video.
A suspect in
There it
custody
is.
for the weekend murders of 2 women that happened at the Jersey Shore. Vintner police say 41-year-old Heather Barbera killed her mother and
I like how they say killing your own mother and grandma as opposed to somebody else's.
And 67-year-old Michelle
It's
Gordon
worse when it's your
were
own,
discovered
right?
Sunday
I
morning
guess so.
in the Vassar Square condominiums on the 4800 block of the Boardwalk. Investigators say after the murders, Barbera took a bus to New York City where she was arrested by the NYPD today and is now awaiting extradition.
She took a bus. I was looking at some of her pictures, and yeah, wow. You were right, dude.
Are you Googling her address in jail right now?
I'm just looking her up. Oh, now I'm looking at, I guess, whatever. There's different, whatever. Now it's a bunch of different shit. Anyway, yeah, she's not very bad looking. Heather 5 fact. Oh, that's Hebby.com. I was looking at some of her pictures. She doesn't have that bug-eyed look that you usually get with the crazy ones.
No, she's very calm looking. I mean, at least
her issues are emotional.
Yeah, no shit.
I guess that's different.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. What is that double weird standard that when you see an attractive person do something like this, it seems to be like, oh man, that's unbelievable. But had she been like some ogre looking lady, you'd have been like, ugh, crazy bitch.
That was expected.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like her uncle said, it was unimaginable.
Mm.
But he did say that she was evidently had some kind of issues with you know, mental issues, I guess.
I guess so. Anger management.
Yeah, I mean, you know, she had things going on. She was divorced. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of backstory here we don't know, but.
Well, how much do you need to know? She beat an old woman to death. I mean, and her mom, but I mean, that one lady was like, what, 87?
Yeah, but strangely enough, you know, it wasn't long before that she posted on Facebook, you know, my mother, my backbone, you know.
Oh, well, that just goes into my thing on what I find hilarious about Facebook. And I know we've talked about this multiple times, but if you ever want to see somebody about to have a divorce, find the person in your friends list that keeps posting about how perfect their wife or husband is. They're on the verge of a divorce. The more somebody ups how great their life is, the more they're about to hang themselves in the shower. It never fails. Most people who are out enjoying their lives, most people who are out, and to me, that personally, if you're actually enjoying your life and you're having a great time, you're not out trying to prove it on Facebook to people who you don't even fucking know. That's the last thing on your mind. I mean, it's the absolute last thing on your mind. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's just, man, I swear to God, I am going to reach through and throttle your ass. That is contagious.
I'm sorry.
Now.
Don't you fucking now
I did not know what you we're talking about for a second.
I swear to God, don't you ever now me, because you are going to have a problem.
Okay, I thought that the groin mashing guy. Well, I thought maybe he might be the most loserish, most embarrassing person we talk about tonight, but I still don't think he beat this fucking pastor in Florida that I reported on, Brian Kenyon Jr. He was a pastor at the Church of Christ of Deltona, Florida. And this idiot, this fucking idiot, for whatever reason, wanted to get a upskirt shot of a 41-year-old woman who was watching his kid, right? So
yeah,
this woman watches his kids while he holds the Sunday service. And on this day, when he was done with the service, he went back to wherever his kids were, his office or wherever it was, and he had this all planned out. He asked the lady to put his kid in a car seat and strap him up. And when she bent down or knelt down to do so, he chose that fucking moment that he was going to take a picture with his phone under her dress. And, of course, because he's such a fucking idiot for even attempting that, he fucked that up and actually touched her leg in the process. So she immediately turns around and sees this jackass knelt down there with his phone, and she said it was very apparent that he had either taken a picture or was recording because the light was on. And but she didn't say nothing.
And he uses flash.
Oh yeah.
Well, she didn't say nothing to him and waited and talked to her husband about it, and they came to this conclusion that they were going to confront him with other members of their congregation, which is what they did. And at first, he said that that's not what happened at all. He was just trying to take a picture of his kid, and he dropped the phone in between her legs. But at some point during this conversation, he did admit that he had a pornography problem. Now, of course, we didn't hear this whole conversation, so I have no earthly idea why he would have revealed that during this conversation. That's like the last thing you want to bring into this accusation is anything to do with your watching porn. But he did. So they confronted him a second time with some inconsistencies he had with his initial excuse. And it was at that point that he admitted that a dark moment came over him. It's usually called an erection. But a dark moment came over him when he did indeed take a picture up her dress, but he deleted it. He said he deleted it. So
the devil made him do it.
Of course. So with that info, he was immediately dismissed from the church, and then he was later, I guess after they went to police with all this, he was arrested and charged with video voyeurism. That's it. Video voyeurism. And released on a $2,500 bond. So he probably won't do any jail over it, but still, man.
Yeah, so he lost his job, basically, as a pastor.
And just for something so junior high, it is unbelievable. I'm gonna play this video real quick and see if they say anything extra.
The heat is on, and Del Air Heating and Air Conditioning can turn it off. It's Del Air.
No, right now it's Del Air talking about their $500 lowest price guarantee for a new heating unit. Every video.
This is 31-year-old Brian Kenyon's mugshot. The woman told deputies he took the picture while she was putting his youngest child in a car seat. As News 6's Lauren Korn reports, Kenyon blamed it on his addiction to pornography.
The former pastor has since been removed here from the church after deputies say he admitted to taking a picture of a woman's dress, blaming him on his pornography addiction.
I hope that everyone's doing well through the storm.
Here's former pastor, 31-year-old.
Okay, I know you guys can't see the video right yet, but you should see. Oh my God, do you see them fucking glasses? Holy shit!
Not yet.
Okay, you'll see them.
Brian Kenyon Jr. giving a Hurricane Irma devotional on Facebook.
Faith is a constant that should be in our lives that the world around us should see.
But 7 months later, deputies say the pastor was using his cell phone to upskirt a woman in his office. He was dropping off.
Okay, you guys are running your mouths.
Dang.
Are y'all caught up now? Y'all got them big ass glasses?
Yeah, I got.
All right.
His children after Sunday service. Investigators say Kenyon asked
they're
the
kinda
41-year-old woman to put his child in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what kind of affliction does he have if you looking at him wearing those glasses make that part of his head look 4 times smaller? Does it mean that he can't see shit close or far? How would that work?
I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither. But you see what I'm talking about. Those glasses are so big, his head actually looks like it's...
Oh, they're big, all right.
I don't know.
Seat when he
He
bent
needs
down
contact.
and snapped the picture. The woman says
Or
she
surgery.
felt skin
Oh my God, the news, they're using the sound of a camera shutter when they do the transitions.
touching her
Of
leg
course.
and noticed a red light on his cell phone. Authorities say the woman alerted the staff at Deltona Church of Christ, who confronted the pastor. The arrest report shows Kenyon first lied about the encounter, later confessing it was, quote, bad judgment, and a dark moment came over him and he thought he could get away with it. Kenyon also reportedly deleted the picture. Deputies arrested the former pastor on Thursday for video voyeurism, but he has since bonded out of jail and returned to his new home in Lakeland. We went by Kenyon's old address in Deltona that has a for sale sign in his front yard. Neighbors tell us he was always so nice, but thought it was strange when he abruptly moved in April.
I look forward to seeing y'all later.
We called Kenyon for comment, but he has yet to return our call. In Deltona, Lauren Korn, News 6.
What an idiot. Just what an absolute idiot.
You can't delete it from the cloud.
I mean, but I don't know. Whatever. It just seems like such a lame move to pull something like that. Upskirt photo. And he couldn't even do it right.
No,
I thought those were like so 5 years ago.
Well, he's a pastor, so, I mean, I guess he's stunted in a lot of areas, obviously.
I mean, why don't he just tape a mirror to his shoe?
Right? Come on.
Go old
God,
school
get
with
the
it.
times.
Damn, Pagan, you put up a lot of stuff this week, didn't you?
He did awesome.
I think he did
A little bit.
I think you did as much as more than I did, because the next one's yours too. This is the woman accused of biting off and swallowing a portion of a neighbor's nose. And I should have probably warned people that when you click on the online fundraiser link, it takes you right to a picture of the chunk missing out of her fucking nose. I didn't know that when I put it up there. I found that out later. Yeah, well, just click on the link and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah, I feel sorry for this chick. You know, she was just trying to have a good time, entertain her neighbor, and then her neighbor's asshole, house guest who was just living there temporarily, showed her ass, got drunk, wanted more cigarettes and alcohol, got denied, got pissed, and bit her friend's nose off.
And just to say, because of course we just repeated what the news said because it's a good title, she didn't actually bite her nose off. The nose is still there. She basically bit off a large portion of the bridge of the woman's nose, and you can
a portion.
Right, you can see the damage done by clicking on the link in the article at the bottom. You can do so now if you want to, but it's got a nice juicy picture of the damage that was done to this chick's nose. It's pretty bad.
Well, I'm looking at cheese and
Wow,
guacamole and stuff right now.
That is right there in your fucking face, isn't it?
Yeah, it
my
is.
God.
And I guess I didn't, because I don't really think about this shit too much, but she needs money for the plastic surgery to fix it. And the reason why they have to do it so quickly is because the longer they go without doing it, it starts healing, and it makes it harder for them to fix it. So I didn't look to see, but since you're already over there, how much did they raise for this lady?
She got $19,115 and was asking for $12,000, so she did it.
Good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the woman that did the biting is 41-year-old Jessica Collins, and I don't know if the facial stuff on her face, that doesn't look like meth stuff. That looks like a scuffle.
It looks like
a little kerfuffle.
Yep.
It's my new word.
Stop it. Don't.
Scuffle.
I was sitting here reading this. Is now, yeah, that's it. She got charged with misdemeanor assault, bodily injury. That's kind of odd. But you know what? I got a friend of mine. She had a very similar situation happen where she had a friend. They were hanging out at her house drinking, and her friend brought a friend, and they were being loud, and so near the end of the night, she asked him to leave, and the friend was being very obnoxious, and my friend got into a verbal altercation with the girl that led to them getting into a physical fight. And when my friend went to turn around to go grab the phone, this other chick grabbed a knife and stabbed my friend in the back and in the back of the head. And she didn't do any jail for that. By the end result, after all the dust settled, she got charged and she did get in some trouble but she didn't get sentenced to any jail time for it, except for some time that she had served already, waiting on the court case. But so I don't know. I guess it's kind of I guess if you bite a chunk off of somebody or stab them and don't actually kill them, that does not necessarily mean you're going to be doing jail unless you're black or poor.
Good to know.
Just saying.
Good to know.
I
gotta say it. What?
No. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
I like the last comment on the site.
What was
the
it
last
say?
Comment on the story. You have to see the picture.
I'm looking at it.
Very last comment. Scroll all the way down.
Oh, you're talking about the comment. Oh, what a fucking idiot.
Got your nose.
Yeah. That commenter, King 4 asshole, or King asshole, he's pretty funny. He's hit or miss. Sometimes he gets some good ones in. He does some zingers, but I think he has been around with us forever.
Long ass time.
Do you see one of our older commenters came back, Old Man Metal? You remember him?
I did notice that.
Yeah, he showed up. I think he was gone for years, maybe, and then all of a sudden he popped back up again. So that was good to see some of the old school people coming back again, like a little reunion.
Yeah, I see Old Man Metal comment. I don't have a no. I've been 28 years old and I don't have a no anymore. Good one, Old Man. You got a fellow metalhead right here, buddy. Right there with you, brother.
Rascone, only on 13's.
I'm gonna play this video real quick.
5 at 5.
Yeah, Old Man Metal. I probably misses. He listens to shit you listen to, like Dio and Dokken.
Yeah, the good shit.
Ugh. Actually, that actually made my stomach like lurch when I said Dokken. Ah, damn! It did it again.
You are such a music elitist. I swear to God.
Oh,
you know you're a dream warrior.
You know what? I did watch the other day. Speaking of crappy metal, I don't know if you remember this, but I watched it the other night with some other people. It's called Monster Dog. You ever seen Monster Dog before, Pagan?
No.
Guess who the lead is?
Who?
Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper.
Yeah, it was a movie that you used to see back in the rental stores back in the day. We never got it because it looked like shit anyway, and it had fucking Alice Cooper in it. Who wants to see that? But I watched it the other night, and holy shit, it is so bad. It is actually enjoyable to watch. And what's so funny about it is they dubbed his voice through the whole movie. It's not his real voice. The only time you hear his real voice is he recorded 2 songs for the movie, and they're horrible. But that's his real voice. But in the movie, he sounds like a young Italian man. But yeah, anyway, you need to check that out. Monster Dog.
Monster Dog. Okay,
I'm is
noting it now.
Horrendous.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And speaking of cringy Alice Cooper shit, if you really want to see something really cringy, watch his video for one of the Friday the 13th films. The Man Behind the Mask. He's back.
Oh,
The man
I remember
behind.
that one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was about as lame as it gets.
All of it. All of that shit's lame. Dream Warriors.
Alice Cooper had his moment.
He had one song.
We're talking about 1970s.
One song.
What, $1 Billion Babies?
Fuck no. School's Out.
You like that one?
No. I'm saying that was the only song that was really, if you listen to it, you're like, oh, okay, I can see why this was popular. You know, not only just the tune, but the theme of, you know, fuck school, school's out, no more teachers, blah, blah, blah. I can see why that got popular. Other than that, even his stage show.
You know what's not so popular about that song at this day and age? Is at the end of the song where he goes, we're going to blow it to pieces. You know, so you know, nobody wants to hear about blowing schools up, you know, this day and age.
Oh, well, whatever. I mean, in context, you can kind of get the theme of the song. But I just never liked the fucking guy. Even when I was a kid and they would show the stage show, Alice Cooper, the first shock rocker, and he was on stage and he'd be like drinking, pouring blood or whatever the fuck he was doing on stage that was supposedly so shocking to parents. Even when I was a kid, he just looked like a dweeb doing a magic show to me. Nothing about him looked menacing. You know, the first person who ever came out to me, artist-wise, that was truly, I thought, looked menacing, and that was the early Marilyn Manson shit.
No, I thought you were going to say Blackie Lawless.
No, that was more retarded as well. You know, I like Blackie Lawless, and I like what he was trying to do, but the shit was so cheesy with the fucking saw blade and his cod piece and his crotch piece. Just the whole thing was just total cheese. When I see some of them early 80s metal bands that were trying to be like, you know, ooh, you know, we're mean and evil or whatever, it just reminds me of like the old school 80s barbarian flicks. Just cheese ball. None of it did you take seriously. Manson actually was the first artist to come out to where I was like, oh wow, this guy could actually be a little dangerous. Not in things that he could do, but just in the message and stuff that he was putting out. I thought that he was legitimately menacing. But then, of course, the more you got to know who he was and everything, the illusion was completely destroyed. But when he first came out, I was like, oh wow, this guy's pretty cool. I like this dude.
Yeah, I think that's what the appeal was.
Yeah, and once that mystery's gone, you find out he's just some dorky dude that grew up in Ohio or wherever the fuck he came from. You're just like, oh, okay, yeah, it's just same old shit. Actors. Me.
Shock rock shit.
It was a shame watching his downfall, though. I mean, and by downfall, I mean that whole persona that he had back in the day, especially around that Antichrist Superstar album. That whole persona's just gone now. He's just some old dude. Have you watched him recently, like in interviews or on stage? And it's just like, wow, you know.
No.
You should have just kind of like said Marilyn Manson is that's a character that's now retired, and now I am this guy, just like Bowie did. Remember, he went from Ziggy Stardust. He would change his persona. And he made it all the way through till he died. He was still on top to me. But Marilyn Manson still keeps trying to be this shock jocker. But it's like, dude, you're fucking 50, bro. You're fucking 50. It doesn't work anymore. It's like watching that Johnny Depp up there trying to play rock star. And it just, to me, it just looks more, it's kind of sad looking than anything.
Yeah, you don't like that, huh?
I just think, no, I'm not saying old people shouldn't be out there rocking or nothing. I'm just saying that certain bands that they just get too old, that I think you damage your brand the more that you keep trying to keep your fucking train a rolling. I think very few people have gotten away with it up in their old age. I think Ozzy's kind of gotten away with it, but you know, but even when he did that television show, I think he damaged his whole persona and brand. He went from, you know, Ozzy to fucking senile old man persona. I think it hurt. I think it hurts the brand a bit. A friend of mine went and saw Starship and Chicago the other night, and she said that it was sad. It was sad.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and REO Speedwagon, and
all three of them in one time in one place,
which is a fucking just a large a large gathering of suckage in and of itself. But
it sounds like a depress fest,
right? But it's like, you know, and I get you still got to put food on the table and all that, so more power to them for being able to do it. But again, I think it actually hurts more than it helps. I don't know. You know what I'm saying, though? When you see old rockers up there still trying to be what they were 20 years ago, and it just is more kind of sad than anything.
Well, yeah, and I think one of the groups that can actually get away with it is the Rolling Stones.
That's what I was thinking.
And again, you're right. There are a few that can get away with it, and Rolling Stones can for a lot of different reasons. But it's because I think they've always been fucking old. I still remember when we bought tickets to that one show back in '88 or '89, and we got the tickets because I remember us saying, "Man, that's a lot of money for tickets, but man, they're going to be dead soon. We should see them while we can." That was '89, right. And them motherfuckers are still touring.
Yeah, there was only like 40 at the time.
Yeah, which to me was very expensive.
Well, yeah, they were $50 tickets. We ended up paying $100 each.
We went to go see them fuckers, and the opening band was Living Color, right? And this was at a college. Was it Clemson? I don't remember where it was.
Clemson, yeah, Death Valley Stadium, Clemson, South Carolina.
So we went with a friend of ours who was dating a chick that stayed in the dorms at Clemson. So that's where we were going to go. And while we were in her dorm drinking, I spilt a Bloody Mary all over one of her term papers. I spilled something on her.
You spilled a gigantic big gulp cup Bloody Mary all over her books, her papers, everything. Every damn book she had was piled right beside that window we were hanging.
But she didn't see us do it.
No, nobody saw us do it. You and I were kind of in our own little clique, and there was like 10 other people just partying in the room, and we were sitting there like, just trying to get our drink on. And next thing you know, you knocked over your cup of juice, and next thing you know, we was like, oh shit, look what happened. And we knew we had to exit stage left.
The whole thing was a nightmare because I think I broke a bottle of liquor going into the dorm. I dropped it on the sidewalk, and then I spilt the fucking Bloody Mary on this chick's all her books and shit, and didn't say nothing. So that sucks. Yeah. And then I remember at the concert we had some roughnecks in front of us, and they had set this blanket on their fucking bleacher seat. And the blanket actually came backwards and was kind of at our feet where we were sitting behind them. And by the end of the show, James kind of elbowed me and told me to look down. And I looked down, and we had been flicking our cigarettes ashes on their blanket and had burned holes and shit all through it through the whole concert. So we got up and left kind of a little early because these guys were rough looking. We did not want to answer to why the fuck we just burnt their Indian blanket or whatever the fuck they were sitting on. Anyway, Let me finish this fucking video. Who were we talking about? I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, Melanie, this apparently occurred, according to the victim, when she told a woman she barely knew to leave her property. They'd been out together earlier in the evening. She was ready for the night to end. She said when she told the woman to leave, she became incensed and attacked her. No time. It happened in a flash, according to a woman we'll call Tatiana. She wants her identity private. She is scarred emotionally and physically after she said this woman, Jessica Collins, was visiting her house after a night at a bar and attacked her when Tatiana told her to leave. She said Collins bit her nose, taking off a large piece of it, and then allegedly swallowing it.
How can you imagine something like that? You only see it on the TVs and movies.
Chick's wearing a damn medical mask.
This This is insane. Somebody would just attack you and bite your nose off and swallowed it.
Collins is out on bond and facing a charge of assault bodily injury. It's a misdemeanor. Tatiana, a wife and mother, has no health insurance and faces an expensive surgery her doctors tell her she needs quickly.
Melanie Lawson.
Yeah, now, so this lady, the biter, now she has the bug eyes I'm talking about that you see with crazy women. There's something about these women that have the bug eyes that they always seem, everyone I've ever met actually that has bug eyes have been a little bit nutty.
Yeah. And this one though, she kind of looks like she has sleepy eyes.
She got bug eyes. She's like Jaded. Jaded's got bug eyes. I knew right when I saw her.
Jaded, you have bug eyes.
She's fucking nuts.
Okay, Jaded.
My eyes are perfectly planted inside my head.
Let's see here. Who do we got? We got the oh, this is another one of yours. This was the paralyzed man, the homie the clown fella.
Love this one.
Yeah, I'll let you take this one away. I put his beautiful picture up for people to see.
Yeah, he has a hell of a haircut. So, as one member mentioned, he has the Larry Fine haircut down pat, and he does. I don't know what happened, man. It looks like somebody took a flame, a torch to his head.
No, it's basically, this is the typical like Gallagher hair loss, but on a black guy. So the hair just is different. But if this had been a white dude, if you just took that front piece away, I don't know why he kept that. You know, that front line.
Yeah.
If you just took that away, then he's just got Gallagher.
Yeah, well, that's 31-year-old Johnny Thompson, and he's a paralyzed individual who rolls around town in the wheelchair, and evidently he wanted to pay a stripper to come back to his place for a little fun, and she did. But once she got there, she decided she did not want to follow through with the sex act, and that's when old Johnny got pissed. So he decided to force her into his room, which he had computers set up, cameras, everything going on. It was evidently he was going to film it. Who knows what he was going to do with it, but she was still resilient and did not want to do this. So he tased her ass right in the chest. In fact, when the police came, she still had the tasers attached to her chest.
Yeah, that has to be one of them moments, right? Like, I can only think of a few in my lifetime to where it must have been so surreal that when she got shot by that fucking thing and she saw the prongs in her, that where she probably just can't believe that her life decisions had put her in this particular position to where she just got shot in the chest with a taser by a paralyzed dude.
Yeah, well, I'm sure right after that she was even more surprised because he whipped out a gun and started putting caps in her ass.
No, he didn't shoot her.
Well, no, he was trying to, though.
Right.
So, anyways, he was trying to put some caps into her ass, and but I evidently missed, and she took the wheelchair and pushed his ass in another room, and that's when she escaped. You know, so, but yeah, she went. The dancer went when he was questioned by the police. He said she went crazy. Well, I guess so. What is that noise?
That's me. Sorry, dude. Yeah. Anyway, somebody was just saying
like
something.
Somebody trying to pull a trigger on a gun or something. It wasn't low. It wasn't shooting.
No. That was my expert typing. Sorry about that. There was just I was trying to, while you were talking, because I'm not used to that, because normally it's always me running my mouth. So I took that opportunity to start reading through some chat. So I'm going to pause this and just address a couple things real quick. One, from our Discord server, and I must have missed this, but when we were talking about menacing artists like Marilyn Manson or Alice Cooper, and I said Manson was the guy I thought was the most menacing. Alf in Discord asked about Gigi Allen, and I can't discount Gigi Allen. And if you don't know who he is, I'm not going to explain it to him. You should know who that is. If you don't, you can look him up. But I didn't find him menacing. I just found him mentally ill. He had mental problems, and that was about it. And I think some of the allure, or some of the stories told about Gigi Allen were a little bit, I want to say, dissipated with me, because where I'm from, Gigi Allen was actually pretty fluent. He was around this area, including a group called Anti-Scene. There was a used record store that me and Pagan used to hang out at a lot, and it was not very uncommon to see some of the members from Anti-Scene there, and we would hear stories here and there about Gigi Allen and some of the antics he would do on stage. Do you remember this guy, Gigi Allen, at all?
Vaguely.
Yeah, so I did.
Anti-Scene, yes.
Yeah, I just didn't see him as really menacing, as more as I saw him as a mentally ill dude with a microphone. And the reason why I think that Manson was a little bit more menacing was, to me, it was very apparent early on the guy wasn't an idiot. He was very intelligent with what he was doing, with his lyrics, the music he was putting out, the image that he was putting out. I found it very appealing to me personally. Gigi Allen just was just a crazy punk to me. But by punk, I mean like music punk, and I just didn't really see him as menacing at all. Not to say he wasn't crazy. You remember the group Mentors? They were kind of in that same vein. I don't think they pulled the kind of crap that Gigi Allen did on stage with the Mentors. If you've never heard of them, you should look them up. They got wrapped up in the old Kurt Cobain, was he murdered or was it suicide conspiracy with Courtney Love, the singer for the Mentors. But they had some very, very, very misogynistic songs that I thought were absolutely hilarious back in the day. And in fact, some of them were in a porno that I would love to find again. Not because the porno was any good, but the fact that it actually had a Mentor soundtrack I thought was pretty hilarious. And then also in chat, somebody was talking about that they love the show, and we appreciate that, all three of you. And they were talking about how much they loved Dio. And I was explaining, I just like giving Pagan a hard time because he listens to very shitty music. And I just like ragging him about that shitty music. But Dio actually isn't one of the bands I put in the shit category. I actually thought Ronnie James Dio was a very cool guy. I still think he was a dork, but I thought he was a very cool guy. I have no problems with him. I didn't particularly like the music too much, but I don't.
Well, you did for a little bit.
I liked "Last in Line." That was the only damn song from them I ever liked. And some of Rainbow in the Dark. But if I listen to it now, that keyboard part kind of gets on my nerves.
I tell you, one of the most killer songs is Heaven and Hell.
Here's my problem, and it wasn't just with Dio. It wasn't even with them specifically, but it was with that genre of music. It's fantasy metal. I didn't like too much. It was the Dungeons and Dragons and Lord of the Rings type imagery that was in their fucking music. I wasn't keen on that. But that was a very shitty time for me music-wise. At the time, my music hadn't came up yet. It hadn't even been invented quite yet. So I knew I was more towards metal, but I could never find the metal that I actually loved. That didn't happen until, of course, you started...
Metallica!
No, what Metallica was... you know what, though? You're right to a certain extent. Somebody... I remember the day somebody let me borrow the Kill 'Em All album. And I played that. And while I didn't like the entire... I mean, I liked the album, but while I wasn't in love with it, there was a song on that album, Phantom Lord. Phantom Lord was my shit. That when I heard that, especially the breakdown when it goes slow... I was like, fucking hell, this is awesome. I'd never heard anything like this. But some Anthrax, early Anthrax stuff I like. It was starting to get towards what I like, which of course, if anybody doesn't know, I'm a total, I hate using the term, but it's the only way I can explain it. But the grunge era type music is still, even to this day, still my favorite. So, but I mean, and I do like some metal. I mean, there's some like Gojira I like, Septic Flesh I like a lot, but I seem to stick more towards the alternative, I guess is what you would call it now, metal. Deftones. I don't know if you listen to them, but them motherfuckers, dude, they're still killing it. I know Jaded loves them. I love them fucking guys, dude. Somebody,
man.
We had a discussion one time. If you had to come up with any band that you think, if you had to name one to where you love every single fucking song, they never put out a bad album, they never put out a bad song ever. I can only come up with like two bands, and Deftones definitely ranks up there, pretty close to one of those bands. They only have a couple I'm not a big fan of, but I like about everything they've ever done.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know why I got on that. Oh, chat. That's right. Anyway, whatever, dude. I'm drinking. I'm a little drunk, so it's gonna be like that. So you just have to deal with it tonight.
I'm just gonna say Motley Crue,
and I can't. Hey, and we'll get off the subject here, and we'll go back to what we were talking about. But I want to tell you something about Motley Crue. As much as I rag the shit out of you about Motley Crue, because I do not like them. But aside from that first two albums, that I really liked the first two albums. It was after that I just did not like them.
Right. I was let down too, right?
Right. But I was going to say, and I don't remember why, it was one of those YouTube rabbit hole nights where I was just clicking on shit and going to other shit. But it was Kickstart My Heart and Girls. For whatever reason, I didn't watch the videos. I got onto one of those where somebody just put the song with the album cover without the videos. And I will have to actually eat my words just a bit. It's still not my kind of music, but I actually enjoyed it more now than I ever did then. They're kind of fun songs, if that makes any sense. It was actually a little entertaining. Whereas back in the day, I would turn it immediately when I would heard it come on. Like Dr. Feelgood, that was another song I just fucking hated, and I still hate to this day.
I agree. I hated it. It was like I was hoping the next album, because Mr. Nicky Sixx always stated they keep evolving and changing. They're never going to stay the same. Well, I was hoping they would kind of get a little more hard maybe or something, since they went through that little glam period, but they never did. And like you said, after Shout at the Devil was pretty much over, and I'll never forget that when Theater of Pain came out and that song was playing, Home Sweet Home, and you said, "Hey, Pagan, that's Motley Crue," and I went, "No, it's not." You said, "Oh yeah, it is."
I've been fucking with Pagan on that Motley Crue since the 80s.
And that's haunted me for 30 years.
Well,
just couldn't believe it. But
anyway. I'm very persistent. Back to Homie the Clown. He zapped her, he shot at her, and since he wasn't charged with attempted murder, I'm assuming maybe he just shot the gun and didn't actually shoot at her, because he ended up getting arrested and charged with false imprisonment and aggravated assault, which I assume is from the taser. So maybe he just shot the gun and didn't shoot it at her.
Right.
I'm just guessing, because there was no attempted murder charge on here.
Yeah, homie don't play that though.
No, he don't. Yeah, and they said at the end that they said that they think that there may be more people that he may have victimized, so they were wanting people to let him know if a balding black dude in a wheelchair had confined them in his bedroom.
Yeah, they're never going to forget that guy. So I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did some other things. They just need to check that hard drive.
Yeah. We're going to breeze to this next one. This is a a typical sting operation where a woman thought that she had been sexually assaulted by her doctor. And so she set up on her second visit, she set up a camera to record the examination. And she was definitely sexually assaulted. And so she took the video to the cops, and they went back and arrested the fucking guy. And now he's been charged with facing 2 counts of sexual battery and 1 count of simple battery. He's rich. He'll get out of it.
Doctor, fill you up good.
Yeah, I say he's rich only because they made it a point in the articles to say that he's the type of doctor that only takes patients that were referred to him by lawyers. So you can kind of get a gist of what this guy's all about.
He kind of looks like a creepo.
He looks like fucking 30 Rock guy. Baldwin.
He does.
Looks like fucking Baldwin. Which one's that? Adam? Alec?
That's the missing Baldwin brother right fucking there.
Yeah, he looks like him.
Yes, he is. I bet he's an asshole just like the rest of them.
Yeah, that's bullshit. You had to pull some crap. I don't know what kind of week this was. So we got this guy fondling a patient. We got Preppy Masher grinding his dick up against women's ass. And then we've got the pastor doing the upskirt shot. And then
it's summertime.
That's true. And then we got the really good one. And that was this chick here. This happened in Savannah, Georgia. It's got a great video attached to it. I thought it was hilarious. I had seen this a couple days prior on Reddit, and I put it in the doctor article because I thought it was a good video. And then, of course, the news started picking up on it and started getting more info on what had actually happened. And a lot of what they said was actually what I read in the Reddit thread, but because it was just an anonymous person, I wasn't going to take their word for gold, so I didn't post anything about that. But what it turned out to be about was out of Savannah, Georgia, where 21-year-old Amelia Holden works as a waitress or a server at Benny Van Gogo's, some type of pizza bar place. And while she was working there, and as you can see in the video that I'll play here in a second for those that haven't seen it, she's cleaning off a table or doing something when this guy, 31-year-old Ryan Cherwinski, who was there at the restaurant with his wife and twin daughters on a date night. He goes walking by, and it's on camera. He goes walking by, and he does that fucking junior high school move of reaching out and grabbing her ass as he walks by nonchalantly, like he didn't do it. And maybe he's done this shit before and gotten away with it, but Holden just immediately turns around, grabs this guy by the back of his shirt, jerks him around and slams him into a chair and starts yelling at him. And they end up calling the cops. And he ended up getting arrested in front of his wife and kids. And he was charged with sexual battery, the same thing as the Preppy Masher got charged with. And he spent 2 nights in jail before he was released. So I'm going to play this video for you real quick in case you haven't seen it before. There's no sound, but anyway. So yeah, she's just sitting there doing whatever she does, and yoink.
Yeah, he just nonchalant walks by and cops a feel.
What I like is she throws him down so hard his glasses are all cockeyed. His sunglasses. I mean, look at this jackass, though. I mean, even going beyond the part that he's touching somebody like that. Just the fact that just how fucking retarded he just... The balls on him, dude.
Yeah. I love the way she just threw his ass down.
Oh, yeah. And look at the way he grabs, too. It's not even a brush up against the ass. He gets, like, right in the crack and everything. Dude, the way she points her finger and starts moving her head around, I could just imagine what she was saying. Anyway, I just watched it about 4 times in a row because I think it's hilarious. Look at the brother up front. He don't know what the hell's going on at first.
Yeah, he's like, holy shit. The fuck? Yeah, he got bumped by the table and shit.
Yeah, such a good fucking video, though.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
I'm surprised she's not on Ellen yet.
Give it a minute.
Yeah, true. She'll be there. Anyway, so that was that video. That was our number 2 story of the week, actually. That got really popular because you ladies, love this stuff. Actually, I do too. It's actually pretty cool to see her do that. She's actually very lucky, too, that she didn't grab the wrong guy. There's a couple dudes that if they had the balls enough to do that in front of their wife and kids to a waitress, it may have not been so easy to slam into a chair. She could have been picking up her teeth. Sorry, I just watched it another couple times. Zoink. God damn, he must have felt like a fucking idiot too. I mean, knowing as soon as his shirt got grabbed, what was going through his head? Like, oh fuck, I done fucked up.
He continues to feel every single time that button is clicked to play.
Say what?
He continues to get humiliated every single time somebody clicks that to play it.
Yeah.
Why is Daddy getting thrown on the ground by that lady?
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, and he has to explain that shit to his wife, and she's probably like, "I just accidentally bumped into her," because that's what I would say. This is bullshit, right. Baby. I am so sorry. I just accidentally bumped into her. She took it the wrong way. And then she's going to probably like want to accept that that's what happened, because how could she be with some dude and she just had 2 girls with that could do what they're saying he did? So she accepts it and believes it. And then the cops show her the video and it's like, fuck, yep, I am married to this guy.
Yep. And then his ass stays in jail for 2 days. So evidently she didn't bail his ass out.
Well, something kind of tells me she knows what kind of husband she had.
Yeah.
This ain't his first time.
Yeah, that's pretty ballsy. I mean, it wasn't even like I'm just watching it over and over again. It wasn't even like a lame, like, just accidentally bump into her. He reaches out and does it.
He just thinks he's the shit and he can get away with it, but this time he didn't. So yeah, I have a feeling the wife knows he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this wasn't his first groping rodeo.
All right, and then
he groped before.
Our number 1 story was out of Missouri, Kansas City. Mother accused of letting men rape her 2-year-old daughter while she watched. And I am going to be the first to admit that even as I wrote this article, and which we'll get into here in a second, I do believe that the headline is actually false. But I'll get into why that is here in a second. Police have charged a woman with letting men repeatedly rape her 2-year-old daughter while she watched. Police began investigating 25-year-old Azzy Watson after her 2 children were brought to a hospital by a foster parent. So, from what I can gather, she was already having some legal problems. I think it has something to do with drug distribution and failure to appear in court. So her kids got placed with a foster family, a 1-year-old boy and a 2-year-old girl. And while the foster parent was changing the 2-year-old's diaper, the girl started crying, saying, "Daddy hurt me. Daddy, stop being mean. Daddy, it hurts." Yada, yada, yada. Just red flags all over the fucking place. So the foster parent, luckily, took the kid immediately to the hospital. And both kids to the hospital. And while at the hospital, and I didn't put some of this in the article because I'll get to it in a second. They found that the 2-year-old had been repeatedly raped, and she also had an STD. And that same day, the boyfriend of Azzy Watson had been arrested on some type of drug-related charges as well, and he conveniently had a recording of Azzy admitting to him in a recording that she had been sexually involved with a man and that she would routinely take her 2-year-old daughter to this house where 2 men would sexually assault the daughter. And in the audio, she admits that it was bad and wrong and that she was a coward. So when the police went and confronted Azzy with this recording, she told them that it was all bullshit, that everything she said in that was just to appease the boyfriend because the boyfriend didn't want to listen to the truth, and that her children and her at the time lived with her boyfriend at a motorcycle shop that he either owned or worked at. And that her kids called Green, his name is Charles Green, they called him Daddy. So they arrested the lady, Azzy, and charged her with 3 counts of abuse or neglect and 1 count of endangerment. Green was charged with 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. And I think that has something to do with the fact that both the kids had meth in them. Both the kids had metal embedded in their feet that they think was from walking barefoot around the motorcycle shop. But no charges have been filed against anybody regarding any type of rape of the 2-year-old. And here's where I get into why I think my title is completely wrong, even though that's what the police are saying. I think it's probably pretty apparent, if you read between the lines, that it's probably the boyfriend that's been raping the fucking 2-year-old. And does that not just seem more logical?
Does to me.
I mean, and I'm assuming that the reason why nobody's been charged quite yet is because it'll be very easy. If she actually gives up the names of the 2 men, they probably would have already been arrested. And I haven't looked at an update, so maybe they have. But you would think if neither one of these men have the STD that the girl has, well, then they probably aren't the actual, people that raped the girl.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, are they waiting or have they tested Green to see if he actually has the same STD as this chick does? I haven't looked up any updates on this. I guess I can do it right now. You hitting a bowl?
US2?
I choked on my spit.
You choked on shit.
Shut up, I said spit.
You broke up.
Oh, speaking of no, I didn't. Speaking of mugshots, just real quick, they do. Daily Mail has a mugshot of the waitress groper.
Yeah,
and he is the goober.
Yeah, I seen him. I'm gonna go over there real quick. Yeah, he looks like somebody that would own a landscape place. Oh, here's a news story. I just put the Daily Mail, and it says gunman walks out of L.A. Trader Joe's in handcuffs and surrounded by hostages at the end of a terrifying siege, which left 1 person dead and started after he shot his grandmother and girlfriend. I didn't hear about this today. But surprising because I was out.
Trader Joe's.
I know, whatever. I was out shooting myself today, so I wasn't online.
You shot yourself? I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, it's bound to happen, right?
I'm going to tell you what, though.
Get your eye out.
At the shooting range, I do notice it's an indoor range, but if you look and see where some of the bullet holes are, I get very wary whenever I'm in there and have to shoot with people who are beside me who I don't know. Because some of the bullet holes are in places that they should not fucking be. I don't know what these people are doing.
That would be me. Just spray and pray.
Oh, my God. I'm scrolling through. I don't see his picture, so I guess it was further down.
Well, you kind of have to Google his name.
Oh, okay. Oh, what about that duck boat sinking? Did y'all read about that?
Yes.
Holy shit, that's crazy. 9 members of one family. I don't know if y'all have seen those duck boats before, what they call duck boats, but they're basically amphibious vehicles that they take tours out on the lakes and stuff with. They look kind of like buses that float.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen one of those.
That's exactly what they are.
Is it just like a bus that can float?
Well, yeah, it's like a boat on wheels.
Yeah, anyway, one of them was out there on a Missouri lake when a storm came up. And they got video. I guess it was taken from a bar or a restaurant out there on the water. And you could see this fucking thing just chugging along, trying to get to shore. And you can see it starting to sink. And all of these fucking people are inside of it. And supposedly what they're saying now is some of the survivors said that the captain of that fucking duck boat told them not to worry about wearing life vests because that's how safe this thing was. So that they didn't have life vests on. But you would almost think it wouldn't even matter if you're in a closed up. You're basically just in a bus that sunk. Right? Some of the survivors are saying that they got pulled under the water as the bus or the duck boat sank. They got pulled in with it. But anyway, But I don't know, dude. You think he had a life vest on if it went underwater? If you could just get out of the fucking thing, you're going to pop up like a cork anyway, right?
Right. But
I don't know. I've never been pulled underwater while wearing a life vest. I don't know how exactly how those things
I don't know.
work.
They said 60 mile per hour winds came up and shit got crazy real quick.
Yeah, I like boats, and I mean I like the water, but I'll tell you, I've only been scared once in my life, and that was on that tiny fucking boat that dude took us out in the ocean on, and I think that was the only time I've ever been like literally scared, like really. I mean, in my life, actually, I think that's one of the few times I was legitimately scared.
Yeah, that was pretty traumatic.
Yeah, I did not like that shit at all. Do you ever go out on boats, Jaded, at all?
I
didn't hear what you said.
I said I am a landlubber.
Oh, so have you ever been out on one, a small boat, out like in the ocean?
No.
It's pretty cool if you got somebody that's being smart, about how to pilot one. But we had somebody take us out in some pretty rough waters one time, and the waves were breaking on the front of the boat. This was a small boat, like a boat you would see on the lake, and not one that you would see out in the ocean. I mean, am I wrong about that, Pagan? I mean, this was not.
No, you're right.
I didn't know if I was like misremembering what happened, but he took us out.
No, it wasn't that big. We started out, everything was pretty smooth. We started out in a like a channel. It was basically an what they call a waterway, and basically, kind of like a river that led to the. It was called the Intercoastal Waterway in South Carolina, and it led to the ocean. And, we were cruising along, sunny day, and we got, everything was great. And then we got to the ocean, and at first everything was good. Then all of a sudden everything changed. I mean, the whole weather, I guess the weather started changing, and the current started changing, and the sea got choppy. And the next thing you know,
ship was tossed.
It was lost.
It was a 3-hour tour.
It was just a 3-hour tour. I wasn't even that
warm. Was in the fetal. I mean, Morbid was sitting there in the fetal position in the cabin. I had to slap him around a little bit to get him back to his senses. But yeah.
Yeah, once I did, and I just remember that the waves were breaking on the front of the boat. And when he sent his daughter into the cabin, I was like, fuck, this isn't good. And I remember the whole problem was he needed to turn the boat around, and there weren't like the way that the waves were coming in and breaking. He had to try to time it to turn the fucking boat around so it didn't get capsized. That was his whole problem.
Correct.
And he finally chose a moment to turn the boat around, and obviously I'm still here, so it worked, but it was not well timed. I do remember that because I remember we were going sideways for a bit before the boat straightened out. But I think that was one of the few times in my life that I can remember ever legitimately being scared for my life was that time. And I think we had a couple weird episodes back with some of the company we were keeping that were a little bit sketchy, but not one where I was afraid for my life like that one.
Oh yeah, that was
You know what we did one time? I don't know if I should say this because I don't know who's listening, so I'm gonna keep it kind of vague. But I remember we went to go pick up some CDs from somebody, and we had to leave Pagan at somebody's house while we went to go get it. And the house that we left Pagan at was fucking hilarious. Rubber Band Man.
Oh my God.
We basically left Pagan at a crack house to go do something, and I felt so bad, but there was no way out of it. There was nothing we could do but leave him behind while we went to go.
Luckily, he was a cool dude.
Right. But yeah, this was not a fucking house you would want to be, especially if you've never been there before. You would not want to be stuck with some dude This house was so old it had push button light switches.
Yeah, I mean, it was a Dreamin' Demon moment. It could have been.
It could have been. It could have been. But I remember a couple situations like that where I would get a little bit worried. But other than that, I've never really been in fear of for my life. But that boat thing, I will never forget that one.
Yeah, that and the roller coaster ride at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, we went on it. There was a roller coaster at Myrtle Beach, and you can look it up. It has a history, and so does the theme park it was at. It was called Magic Harbor. It was in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and they had a roller coaster there called the Black Witch, and it was a mousetrap roller coaster that had came from somewhere else, but a mousetrap roller coaster where those lame-ass go around a bunch of circles on one side, go up, go around a bunch of circles the other side. And that was pretty much the roller coaster. They were very simple, which is what made them so scary. But we rode one, and it was called the Black Witch at Magic Harbor. And the whole time we were riding it, it was fun and laughs at first until I kept getting raised up out of my seat, and the upper beams kept coming like really fucking close. And so I spent the entire ride because there were no shoulder harnesses. It was just a lap thing, right? It was just a thing on your lap.
Yeah,
and
just a bar.
It was just a bar on your lap. And so I ended up having to hold onto the underneath of the bar to hold my legs down because my ass kept coming up out of the seat and the beams of the top part were like really close because I'm a tall guy. And to be honest, it was probably 3 or 4 foot above me. You know, if I were to go back and look, I'd probably look like a giant pussy. But something was off about the ride. Enough that when we got off of it, we didn't get back on it. And we were actually talking about something's up with that fucking ride. And
right. I mean, we liked shit like that, and we would not get back on it.
Yeah, there was just something wrong with it. But something was up with it. And then it turns out it wasn't that long after, maybe that same year, that exact same summer, some girl, and it's in the paper. In fact, I pulled up all the info on her at one time because with the birth of the internet, it was funny. You could go back and find all this stuff out that you remembered back in the day that you couldn't get research on. But that exact same ride, some chick got her basically decapitated on that fucking roller coaster. Now, that being said, I think she did stick her arms up, or she did something. She raised her arms up or something. And she ended up getting killed, got her head knocked almost clean off because of it.
I can tell you this. I was grasping onto that bar for dear life. If I felt if I had raised my arms or took my hands off that bar, I was done.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to, I mean, seriously, this theme park, Magic Harbor, had a couple different names to its lifetime. It was supposedly cursed. Of course, we didn't know this at the time. We knew that the theme park there was sketchy just because of the people that were working there. But there were a lot of deaths at this thing, it turns out. I didn't know about all that, but there were a lot of deaths. Some of it weren't even ride-related. I think one of the owners or somebody that worked there ended up getting shot to death by a robber at one point. But, yeah, if you ever do if you are interested in that kind of stuff, because I always love, like, theme park accidents and shit, but Magic Harbor has quite the colorful history there. But yeah, I did find all the info on that chick because I've always told that story through the years, and I didn't know how much of it may have been embellished or how much we may have added on to it. But yeah, no, I looked it up, and we were spot on. A chick did get killed there. It was either the same summer that we were there or the year after. And then the entire parks got closed. There's like one picture of that fucking spooky looking roller coaster that I could find. It was called the Black Witch, and it was painted black.
Black Witch.
Anyway, it is 12 o'clock, man. I think I am done for the night. I think I'm gonna finish up this whiskey and go back and watch the rest of some movies. I just watched Gymkata again tonight. I should have won an Oscar. You guys should watch that movie if you ever get a chance, if you can find it. It's an amazing film made back in the 80s about a gymnast who
hasn't seen Gymkata.
Some people have not seen Gymkata. I know that for a fact because some of the people I watched it with tonight had not seen it before. So I don't know what's up tonight, but I think I'm going to go watch some more movies with them. Got a nice little online movie watching group, so it's been pretty cool. they watch crap like me. Very crappy 80s, obscure 80 films. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, hey, listen, guys, I know we're still a very, very loose format. We do appreciate you guys coming out and listening. I know it's just 3 people running their mouths about stuff, and it may not ever change from that. I'm hopefully one day we're going to bring some segments in. I would like to at least get a podcast where we talk about other things, specifically horror movies and some of the bullshit that we stray off into, like tonight. But you never know. It's just a time thing, something we all don't have a lot of at the moment. So right now, this is about the best we can do. So we appreciate you guys coming out and spending some time with us on the weekend. And we will be back next week. I don't know. What do you guys think? Probably Friday or Saturday, or we just need to hook up during the week sometime?
I can't do Saturday, so we'll have to hook up sometime during the week and discuss it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and we'll do that. So, but yeah, anyway, you guys have a great rest of the weekend. We'll see you back on Monday with some more fucked up stories, and hopefully maybe we can even pull Jaded out of her self-imposed retirement to get a story up or something.
Maybe.
And, yep, that's it. You guys have a great night. Like, subscribe, all that lame stuff if you want. And we will see you again next week.
Bye.
Later.